Good morning. This is Dr. Alkulsu. I am from BA PAL, my company on wellness. I'm here today to have a chat with you about introducing my upcoming book. It's on the way, and also invite and seek people um, to participate in this concept of how are modern challenges, what are the modern challenges we're talking about, how can we really dig back into the ancient wisdom and find some solutions. We don't have to go back, but that we can use the historical lessons to attend some of the challenges we have in the modern times. Definitely, global heat is a challenge, and what we did with the planet, we want to understand and we see whether we can improve our behavior and how we act in terms of with the earth and the elements, and how we can really decrease our consumption, thereby help the health of the planet. See, that's the idea. That's only one example. That's the one I'm going to pay attention today. But let me first introduce myself and tell people why I have come to this conclusion. I have resisted writing a formal book for a long time, but this is also not going to be mainly a book, rather like a commentary. Thereby we can really understand that we can improve our life, and thereby respond to the challenges much better. That is the concept. So it's going to be a commentary of mine about several challenges we have in the model. For those people who do not know me, I will record my introduction briefly. I'm a internal medicine doctor. Had been practicing in this country since 1983. I think I came here 81 and like 82, and then I started working 1983. And ever since I've been the doctor in the various capacities, but also went and did a master's in biomedical informatics. So I'm very familiar with the modern technology. I also am a student and practitioner of ancient wisdom. I'm an avid yoga lifestyle, and also really studied ancient philosophies and how they have evolved as human beings in their thinking, in their perceptual ability, and overall control of their heart and minds and their life. So I thought there's so much to really go back to it and apply it to the modern life. For example, we have so much of mental illness, but at the time they were much more sane, much more together, much more really reflecting on deeper issues of life by adopting a simple life but higher thinking inward, and really having the peace and quiet among themselves, and very non-violent lifestyle, and also very friendly towards the earth. So there's so many things that we can examine. We are going to examine. This is going to be a weekly series. I plan to do probably 10 weeks. Because there are 10 chapters in the book. Okay, I'm not going to read the book because it's still a manuscript state. But I will discuss the chapter headlines and what my thinking is, and what do I see modern challenge or something that we need to improve, to what are the solution from the ancient perspective. It's not about religion, it's not about preaching people you have to do this way, but examining them and see whether it's appealing to people that they can adopt. See, I see the bad effects of our civilization. Rampant chronic disease, that's not really improving and robbing people's quality of life, and then also shortens their life too. And I see rampant mental health problems. I see rampant addiction all over the society, and I see a lot of psychological neurotic neurosis, all those things because of too much breakdown in our support structures, like a family, or we don't understand what we are doing, all that, right? And also, really not having any way to go for peace of mind. You know, people may earn a lot of money, people may have a lot of status, but still they have something missing. Increased suicide rate because of that, and the problems with addiction quite a bit, right? So I see a lot of suffering, but at the same time, I found adopting some of the lifestyles or perspectives of the ancient wisdom left me joyful and blessed within. And so you are more reacting before, but now you are not reacting, but you are responding to your life's challenges with control, with balance inside. So that's basically what I want to address. How can we have inner balance about things, about thinking, about emotions, about love, everything, right? And then come out to the life with internal resilience. That can be achieved by adopting some of the modern lifestyles here. Okay, as the people are trickling in, I hope they will be able to participate. I invite my friend Tiffany just to uh, make sure that she is also participating this. Otherwise, I have too many devices going here, so I want to attend to everybody whoever wants to come up. Hi, Tiffany.
Hello, Dr. Rao. How's it going?
It's going very well. Thanks for being here, and we'll see anybody else comes up. But there are people on the Wisdom, people on the Instagram, and other channels also. So I'll be introducing this topic for today, and then also express my opinion about the urgent problem we have is the global heat and what it is doing devastation. We have been following this since 1980, ever since I came to this country. And then I have seen a lot of decisions made, a lot of talk was made, but then when it comes to cooperating with the governments, each other, they are not able to do that, that kind of thing. Um, so So somebody's coming to come to some other room. That's why I was paying attention to that. So, what do you feel about global heat, Tiffany? What do you think? What is going on with the environmental changes? What is your perspective?
Mm, this is in regards to
Global heat, yeah,
the increase in the temperature
yeah, yeah,
across
yeah.
the
Mm.
level.
Yes.
I'm not really too sure
Mm,
what I about it, but I know that it is getting warmer. I'm in Texas,
mm,
and we had quite a very hot summer.
yeah,
Uh, we normally have hot summers, but
yeah.
it's been exceptionally, the temperatures have been
Too hot.
exceptionally higher than normal.
Yeah, too hot, not comfortable at all, and actually really uncomfortable. I experienced that kind of weather when I was in India, in Guntur. The summers were very, very hot, but now it's unbearable a bit. Hi, Nisha, welcome. Uh, so, so it is a question of appreciating that really having this problem, right? Uh, so it's a kind of observation that I've been making for a long time now, and also involved in um, really paying attention to what is happening at the global summits when governments were gathering together and wanted to uh, do some things, but then they fell short of it. Now countries like Bangladesh, they're almost not all of it, but some of it are underwater because of the globalization and because of the heat went up, right? So the sea level has risen, and those people are paying price. So countries like that, there are several of them, not just that country only, but they have come and requested economic aid to improve their problem. They promised 82 billions to those people, but they never gave it to them. So they were complaining about that. So things are at a par. Even in 1980s, people really worried about global heat. But then last 20, 30 years, it has got much worse. That people are now feeling how their temperatures have changed, how so many cyclones are happening, how so many people are dying of heat stroke. So a number of things, right? They're chopping woods, and then they're kind of not replanting. Replant, they will take a long time. So many ways people are really suffering all over the world. So when you take a panoramic view of the world and the time also, you will see progressively more and more temperature increasing because the human activity has contributed to that. There are people who dispute that, but I really pay attention to the science that is going on, and the ecologists too. When you see that, I can see the normal natural things that I used to enjoy, like good seasonal changes, and then we can predict the rainfalls and all that. They have all changed. And then it looks like we will not have a planet anymore. It is that bad. So Nisha, what do you think about that?
So yes, Dr. Rao, I totally agree with what you have to say. I believe that that the way we live,
Yeah,
the way we everything, the way we live, eat, drink, um, consume things, everything has an impact, and the loss of the ancient wisdom,
yeah,
where there was a circularity of living. We lived in a more organic fashion.
yeah,
We consumed less and less chemicals,
yeah,
not just in food, but also in the way we did other things around the house,
yeah,
in our day-to-day living, and all of that has an impact. We are only just scratching the surface
yeah,
when we say what the problem is.
yeah,
But if you really look closely, Dr. Rao, plastic has become an integral part of our life. That
yeah,
it has become so difficult to get rid of it.
yeah,
The chemical, the synthetics,
yeah,
and that has an impact on everything.
yeah.
It has not been. It will not be easy for Earth to go back or
Mm,
even reset ourselves to the way we were living earlier.
exactly. Yeah,
It really would require some tremendous amount of disruption.
yeah,
Even though I fail to envisage how is that going to happen.
yeah,
But something has to happen, and drastically,
yeah,
for us to be able to even go back to reset ourselves to the healthy levels,
yeah,
let alone you know
yeah,
the next level beyond that. So
yeah,
yes, I totally agree with that.
yeah. Yeah,
We
Nisha
understand
brought a
what
couple
ancient
of,
wisdom is, but
yeah,
how we go back to that ancient wisdom,
yeah,
now that is a challenge that I would
yeah,
like to hear.
exactly. I think Nisha brought in a very good points about how this has become an urgent thing, and also our daily life has got to do with it. Yeah, why can't we really be aware not to use the plastic? That's a simple thing, right? And also understanding the longevity of the plastic in our earth, it is cannot be destroyed that easily. They're trying to invent some new things and all that. Our beaches are polluted with the water bottles or plastic bottles, and our water has fibers of plastic. Do you know that some of the kids' digestive juices have these plastic fibers? So, I mean, as a doctor, I know about that. But what she is saying about how can we reverse this? What is the ancient solution? Is more like they don't have a solution, but they have a lifestyle that kind of encourage the regeneration of the planet. First of all, they have outwardly minimalistic life, simple life, right? So they were using as few things as possible. Those are also really recyclable already. They don't know the word at the time, but they don't want to really chop the woods completely because they worship trees too. I'm talking about certain cultures. and also they were really one with the nature. Even American Indians here, they say that we are the nature, we are with, so they don't say nature is apart from that, so that kind of reverence to the waters, to the air, to the trees and animals, that was really a lifestyle that they had. They took what is necessary for them, but they didn't indulge in a lot of eating like we do now. That is the idea, Nisha. What this is, what is the lifestyle that was closer to the nature, how it is nourishing nature, that lifestyle, and also how nature is feeding us back in terms of being normal. So I do what is called forest bathing with the people who come to me with stress and burnout. Like I will give an example, which happened a couple of weeks, 3 weeks ago, I think. My friend who was really involved with a lot of technology, he has three TVs, he sees three different channels. He has four computers, he works with different things. He was mired with them from morning till evening. Of course, he has a lot of money and all that, but he doesn't have a moment of peace or quiet. And I told him, just leave them all and go out, find a tree and sit underneath. Don't say anything, just be with what is going on, with the light, with the wind, with the ruffles of the leaves, And he did that, but I told him, you got to allow your senses follow. Don't have thought patterns where, oh, my job is that I have to do, this I have to do, that is left out. No, none of that. For these few minutes, you are just going to be one with the nature and allowing your senses flow. That means smell the roses, hear the leaves, feel the air, feel the wind on your skin, and then it will be very, very simple thing, right? That's called a practice that you do from yoga. Actually, they call pratyahara. That means they don't take any information into yourself. They want to put it away. That is, ahara means food, right? Pratyahara means you don't take anything that stimulates your thought patterns and all that. Just a exercise to do every day before work and after work will be good enough for us to really give that benefit. So have you heard of that, Nisha, forest bathing?
Yes,
Mm.
Dr. Rao. So this is something we used to do in Melbourne.
Yeah.
I used to go with a group of friends and just spend the whole day in the mountains,
Mm.
with in the forest, and
Mm.
just spend the whole day and then come back.
Yeah.
And not take any gadget with us. Just be there. So we
Yeah.
used to do that,
Yeah.
and or sometimes we used to just go and stay in the camp
Yeah.
and take our kids along with us too.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
it's such a
And then
thing.
you come back and I feel that
Yeah, go ahead.
your entire aura is like you feel so clear inside.
Yeah, exactly. That is the forest
Everything feels
bathing.
like really open.
Yeah, that's the forest bathing we saw in the Scandinavian countries. What they are doing is they have COVID cases, but their mortality was very low. This was in the beginning of the COVID epidemic, right? COVID also, like anything, I kind of have a panoramic view of world, what is happening all over the world, right? There's a system I follow. Thereby, I'm in touch with what is going on, with the epidemic especially. They had very low mortality. Very few people died there. Very few people really became very, very sick. We examined that. Then it came out that they are doing this forest bathing, just walking among the woods without any thoughts and all that, just enjoying the surrounding. The second thing is they were doing sauna bathing, hot water, cold water, hot water, cold water. That kind of allowed them to generate T lymphocytes, which are immunolymphocytes. So they were really uh, very robust in the generation of that. That really resulted in them having less deaths. Then we recommended for the doctors at least, take a break, go out, and then spend some time among the woods that are around, or just to take a walk in the atmosphere, and don't let everything stimulate thinking, but just be with what is going on. That kind of helped. And also this alternate, even now I do that, alternate hot water and cold water shower every day. So that's something very, very telling, right? So that kind of natural things we can promote. And I can go on about what the ancient lifestyle is. We will go a little bit later. Let's see, Shreya, she has anything to say. Hi, Shreya, welcome to the stage.
Hi, Dr. Rao. Hi, Nisha. Hi, Tiffany. So, Dr. Rao, like, I don't have much of my expertise in, this, yoga and all these things, but I would like to share my experience to the spirituality journey, which I started kind of. So, it's more about the nature has a lot to teach you.
Yeah.
Like today, even if we see around us from nature, everything, there is so much what we can pick up and so much what we can learn. Like like the other day I was writing something on parenting, and I just happened to randomly come out of an example and give that you know parents are like oxygens for kids. And that's how, if parents are in their traditional values and if parents are around with certain things, then children are like creepers to them. So that's what the nature teaches us, everything, whatever we see around us. And I kind of more read towards quantum physics. So my experience is like, I would say that we have energies. Aura, of course, aura is there, but we have energies of our words, energies of everything what is there around us. So today, if I'm going to talk positive, I'm going to talk negative. If my body has cells, electrons, protons, whatever, around me also I have these things. I don't know which atom is going to collide with what, and I'm going to manifest certain things.
Yeah.
So it's always good to have a positive speech, I would say, and a positive outlook for things, so that you get into that, because energies are around you at the end of the day. And very interestingly, kind of, I'm just getting my more inclination towards getting into the Vedic psychological part. So when you get into the Vedic psychology part, you know that okay, everything, like all these things have taken in the past. All but the solutions, what we are currently doing, are from where it comes. Like everything is from the past, just the lifestyle modifications and the challenges which are there, which we are just looking forward for. And of course, the water thing. So I was very eager to share this. This has personally kind of helped me. The best thing, if you want to manifest anything in life, you can do it through water. Like the energy is what you say when you drink water, like the statements what you make, and you consume that water. So it really helps. And I have personally done this experiment. So I don't remember the name of the scientist, but I've just tried what he did, a replica one. He's a Japanese one. He did this. He kept 3 glasses of water, and he just had rice kept in it. And one water he used to say, I really love you, you're very nice. The other one, like, oh, I don't like you. And the third was ignored. So all the 3 colors change. And the beautifully, the thing which came out was the water which was there, which we used to say, so that the rice in that grew and those kind of stuff. And the other thing which through water, what we did was, this is personally what I've seen it in the microscope. So this is what I know. It was the water molecules could shape, came out, and just beautifully, whom we had said positive comments to. So manifestation and the things around us, the best cleansing thing and the best thing for us is water, I would say. So water, from and the flow and the energies and everything, whatever is there, that goes to that. This is my learning, that's it. Like, I just have to say that much.
Very good, Shreya. Very good. I am good to. It's a very good, Shreya, because what you said about water is very true. I'm also familiar with an experiment they did on water. This was done in Chennai, India. They kept two different jars of water in a different room and let the children go talk sweetly to one jar, and they go to the other room, be nasty to the other jar. And it turned out the water which was talking smoothly, lovely, nicely, that was more smooth, but the other one kind of changed its color into dark. That was something I knew that happened, that was reported, but I don't know that beyond that. But other thing is, you said about Vedic psychology. I know what you mean, but I want to correct one thing though. Psychology is not there in Vedic. What is there is consciousness, that is beyond the thought. Whereas psychology is kind of bred by the thought, and the psychologist like a,
Absolutely.
yeah, like a all this
Yeah.
the Carl Jung or Freud, that is one person's thought branding everybody else. I myself practiced so many
Yeah.
years of internal medicine, right? So many people used to come to me for depression, anxiety, because I'm the primary care, right? They first come to me. And lots of times I kind of talk like this all the time, so they
So
want they want to come to me, but also I listen to them too, and that's why they were more like a I want to be human to them rather than anything else. That's why they were coming to me, and then I bring in this insights I'm learning from the ancient wisdom, and I was telling them about relationship, about so many things, right? So they liked that, and then lots of them they said, "We came to you very anxious, very depressed, and now this half an hour you spent with us really uplifted my spirits and that." Then I was examining what I was doing is I was not judging them, I was not preaching them. I was just giving them room to express themselves. They did to their heart content. They would not say all those things to any of my nurses, but they said to me because that's a personal relationship, right? Me and the doctor, and him be coming here for my friendship, for my help, and all that. See, one thing about the energy you talked about, Shreya, that is very true. See, these meditative people, they can be in the guhas, they call it the caves, and they are not accessible to anybody. But what they do is they emit very, very rich positive vibes. That's why in their presence you feel really calmed down, and really they don't have this what they call worldly attitude of ours, where we are constantly scheming or planning or blaming or judging all that thought, right? But they kind of accept you as part of them. That is why they call Vasudhaiva Kutumbaka. So whereas modern people, what we did, we know that we are all in one energy, but we don't really live it because we identify like I'm a woman, or I'm an Indian, or I'm a this particular job person role. We identify with those things and then really move us away from the source where it is all one energy. Ancients went,
so
yeah, go,
yeah. So can I share something on this? So this part I can
sure.
completely relate to you, and the mind shift for me was when I read Dr. Brian Weiss.
Hmm.
So he's somebody whom I read, and after that, things like the individualistic approach what we have around us,
Yeah,
like that just went away, because at soul level, I would say, our life is like I would say, it's like, karma is like, I would say, more of like a bank account.
yeah,
Okay, so it's more about debit and credit. So in that case, at soul level, we have contracts of debits and credits with everybody. So today, if I am, this is what Dr. Brian Weiss said, like, today, if I'm a part of this room, and if I'm talking to you guys, we are interacting, or if our synergies are matching, somewhere or the other, we have a contract at a soul level where we needed to be a part of this room, we needed to talk, and we needed to exchange energy. So growth starts from within. So the aura and the energies what these ancient people had was, when
yeah,
you talk about them, they are selfless. I would say
yeah,
selfless, as in they don't. The actual journey which starts is, for us, is for spirituality starts once you start. It starts from within.
yeah,
It's from self development. When you don't actually, the external circumstances, the external environment, and everything does
yeah.
not affect you
Very
that time.
nice, very
And
nice, Shreya.
that's the,
Let
yeah,
me
and that's
explain,
the
sir.
time
Yeah,
when
that's
you
yeah.
feel okay.
We come.
That's the energy what you give outside,
Yeah,
and that makes others more comfortable and come and talk to you.
yeah, yeah. That's true. But what I want to make it is more practical, right? Ancients really identified ourselves as the being. In the human being, the human is the biological organism, and the being is that conscious sense of self, right? So they invented this namaste, where they said the being within you is divine, and I have the same being in me. We are all one in that being. So I'm going to prostrate to your being, which is divine, with my divinity inside. So that's a very practical day every day. So what I do with my patients when I go see him, I, before I enter the room, I'll say namaste to him or her, whoever it is. Then with that, I come brought back to that ancient identification of the being, one energy, Vasudev Kutumbam, all that. So if I go and see somebody, their name is irrelevant to me, their sex is irrelevant to me, their background, their financial status, or any opinions, anything that they have, ego, personality, they all drop because I'm going straight to the being. And then these motors may have taking up some of the brand wise she is talking about like that. People are really reliving them, reinventing them. That's very good. What I am trying to do is same things that they have explored, because what they explored into the human being, into the inner workings of human being, they are really phenomenal. The consciousness that they have gone into, and then how consciousness manifests everything, that is very significant. Like for example, we talking about global heat and how do we have, then you are one with everything. The Brahman means that Brahman is the consciousness that is around us, in us, and in everything that we see and all that. Once you have that, your tree is a Brahman to you, your fruits are Brahman to you, your animals are Brahman to you, your rocks and hills are Brahman to you. That's what it is, right? A lot of people don't understand what is Brahman, because it's like a eternal, everlasting consciousness, that is the being within us, that doesn't have birth or death. That's why there's a sense of permanency, sense of belonging to everything. So you are not victim of your thoughts or your mindsets or anything like that. They're all your attributes. Who is that you holding this? That's what it is differentiated by the ancients very well. And Brahmagnana is what is taught in Bhagavad Gita. A lot of people don't know that. What is the Brahman? What is the Brahmagnana? But once you are one with that universe, and you know that you are part of everything, everything is part of you, you got to realize it. It's not an intellectual conclusion. You have to realize it. Then you live in that, then nobody is separate from you, and we are all one energy. Ramana Maharshi one time said, there are no others. There is only one Atman. That is the complete consciousness, right? And this was so practical, I will tell you. My son was very agitated by the ex-president, the last president, and he was really worried, really agitated by what he was doing and all that. Then I told him there are no others. Even though he is a politician, he has doing from his lower self all the thing, but in his higher self, we are all one. He doesn't realize that's why most of the wars are fought, because of this independent identification of the ego, individuality, and all that. But what Shreya is bringing is, once you realize we are all one, that is also proved by the science now. Unified field of the energy. Only one energy, right? So if you understand that energy, what you are contributing to it by being positive, by being really upfront, that only enhances that. This is also used for depression and anxiety. What happens in depression is you have a negative thought, you reinforce the negative thought again and again and again, and the deeper you go with it all the time, without really realizing it's only a thought, but I'm potentiating it by going it again and again, right? But the moment you realize this is only a thought, the thoughts are happening to me, I'm not the thought, then you can identify it as the owner of the thought, and then really get out of it by being positive around the negative thought. Whatever the thing you can say, I'm I'm alive. I'm really enjoying this life. Then immediately that becomes a positive. The very existence becomes a positive, and then you will come out of the negative a little bit. On the other hand,
So,
yeah,
yeah, it's generally the attachment is considered as the greatest enemy, I would say. But, because which feeling of inferiority or superiority in human being. And this, of course, is there in Gita also, if anybody has read it. So, yeah, so currently I would say, just like to highlight, like in India, the Nimhant Institution has done a research on this, and they have put up things wherein I just came across wherein they describe Arjun's character, and that saying that okay, how the inferiority complex was there and how he felt disheartened. So generally, even for us, it is more of the attachment, the more of the expectations what we have from others. Like you were discussing about your child, okay, your son, so he was there, so it was like his attachment with all the social people around when he was there, his expectations, that what would they perceive, what would they think, got that anxiousness within him.
yeah. Let me explain to you what the ancients taught me. About this whole thing. There are five
Yes,
kleshas.
yes, yeah.
Five kleshas. They said the five kleshas are: first one is avidya, lack of education of who we really are. And then asmita. Asmita is that psychological self that we think we are, or the egoic self, or individual self, whatever we think. That is also a thought construct. Okay. And then third one is raga. That means attraction, attachment, holding on to things. Fourth one is dvesha, where it's a hatred or really moving away from something and all that. And the fifth one is fear of death or fear of impermanence. So these five things are considered as kleshas or causes of the suffering. You see, what I wanted to tell you, Shreya, understanding modern ways of internal thing has got a danger, whereas ancients went beyond the individual self to the real being inside, whereas moderns are trying to potentiate the ego and experiences at that level. So that's why a lot of people cannot understand when I say I'm blissful, I'm really in ananda, happiness, and all that. They're true facts because I have really passed, transgressed the ego by understanding, not by somebody is telling me, but by understanding the whole structure. That is what I'm inviting people to pay attention to, so that they will be able to really understand what are the insights of the ancients. That is the knowledge. Actually, ancient India is not about belief, it is about questioning. It is about saying, I don't know, how can I know? So that's a very important quality. It's called jignasa. That means, like a scientist, you don't want to repeat anything, but you want to investigate it and find it out for yourself, the truth of the matter. Okay, that they have really encouraged and allowed a lot of people to learn from that. And then you can do the same investigation into yourself without any therapist or psychologist, anybody like that. But you have to get rid of all the previous knowledge that you accumulated through the books and all that. So what it is independent inward investigation can be possible. For example, Nisha was mentioning the plastic, right? If you are not aware that you are using plastic unknowingly, unconsciously, you are not even thinking about what the consequences of the. I'm not saying Nisha does that. I'm just saying that she brought the plastic topic. Okay, so what most people do, they are unaware that this is such a menace. This is causing so many problems. Even now we are discovering in the stomachs of the kids. So it's a kind of awareness oriented insights that they have. It is not about thinking something and coming to a conclusion, hypothesis, and all that. It's not. These rishis who are the seers, they went into deep meditation where superficial mind, I submit most of us, we do exist in superficial mind, but you don't stop the operations of it, then you will see what is behind it. They were far advanced into that, and that's why they were able to say goodbye to all the worldly life and were able to get in because there is they call it purna, that is whole, that is the divine entity that is given to us. All of us have it, but we are not aware of it because our mind is so superficially so active. But if you go to the subconscious or deep consciousness, everybody has a yearning to be knowing what is spirituality, what are the fundamental things, where did we come from, who am I, where I'm going, what is death, all these existential issues. I really think the ancients have explored it, not just to India only, but all over the place. People have really explored it pretty well. That is the one I'm bringing focus to, where you can really uh, learn from those insights because they're called shrutis. Either they heard them or they experienced them. And then they did not write them down actually. There were centuries, thousands of years of discussion of these things happened, and existential issues of the life were better examined by the ancients. But if you understand only last few hundred years, like 2 to 500 years of philosophy, science, and psychology, they are really limited compared to that kind of insight. But the thing is, even now people can achieve that kind of seership by calming themselves down. That's where the meditation happens. Other thing is, if you are in a real self, that is actually choiceless awareness that doesn't have any thinking. So people touch that, then they don't have to do a meditation because your real nature is to be in meditativeness. That means thoughtless, choiceless awareness. So practice awareness. So a simple thing. In the morning when you get up, don't allow the thoughts come in right away. Just get up and be familiar with what is happening in my body. Do I feel any stiffness? Anything? Just be with that. Don't allow the mind to run with all sorts of thoughts. And then go and see the nature around you. See the life around you, the pets, the kids, the spouses, all those things. Just don't say anything. Don't have any image about him. Just be with them. That is very tough for a lot of people because the way thought runs is mercurial. The moment you see one thing, it has the whole history of that, and then it will go to that and then come back. So that kind of running it does. It's like a wind, goes all over. So you got to learn to, how can I be balanced, how can I be centered, how can I be present here and now. If you do that in the morning, the first hour is very important neurologically, right? Then you can continue that through the day, provided you want to come back to that presence again and again. But the modern life has become so stimulatory of the mind with information. My thesis was information overload in my master's of biomedical informatics, and I have seen the effects of the information overload even in 2008. Now with this AI coming and all those coming, people are talking about, oh, devices implanted in you. There's a biometric bangle. There's a chip that they will insert in your mind. Then you don't know who you are. An avatar are created for you, and avatar has a protocol that will decide things for you. Even if you want to go buy a piece of cloth, and that will tell you whether you should buy it or not. That kind of thing is anticipated, is presented also, and we are very scared about that. So, but basically, when you come to the topic I'm talking about in my book, what are the modern challenges? Like our very existence is threatened by this climate change. So, what can we do in our daily life? It is like be aware. This is problem is there. Be aware. Some of the things that we do can reverse that, and be aware, politically active about this, and participate in those organizations, and then make sure that I was Greenpeace, Green Earth, so many things are there, right? If you can do all of that, that will be much better. So, Tiffany, what do you think so far?
Very interesting, Dr. Rao. I think it's a lot of very interesting, great information. I'm excited.
Yeah. I'm going to do this every week for 10 weeks because there are 10 chapters in the next thing will be on why do we have so many wars all the time? What can we do about it? All these things are not taken individually, but more like as problems for the entire earth and humanity. And what is our role in that? We don't have to be big leader, but how can in our daily life can make a difference that can touch off something. So climate change, I would say minimalism, and also really understanding why we are buying so many things that are destructive to the earth, and really refraining from them and educating other people with that. That kind of thing really helps people to be practical, but at the same time connected with. See, there is a saying, right? Global thinking, local acting. See, so you have to think on the global level what is happening with us, with our lives problem, and local acting. Local, if you can really implement those things locally, that will make a difference. It's a carbon print. You can say how much carbon print I am leaving on the earth by my lifestyle, by my habits, by my. So first thing is aware, be conscious about what you are doing, and then nobody need to tell you what it is. You will know what is good. So like we are talking about, if you are positive minded, if you are meditating, you kind of spread positive vibes all over. Even that was my personal experience. Is I was working in emergency room in New York, and after my residency there. So 94, 95, I was in the emergency room there. In the morning, we used to get very, very sick people, heart attacks or cardiac arrest or respiratory arrest, quite a few of them in the morning. The moment I went there, everything calmed down because even though we have intense activity, I am quite inside. So my being inside like that, it affected all my team, and then they were very synchronous with me, and we were able to handle the emergencies because of that. That's why I always tell people, calm yourself down, trying to make some effort in the morning, in the evening, and then you will be not reacting, but more like responding to the challenges that are happening. That's a simple thing too. Like this, be conscious of how you are using the elements of the earth, like how you are keeping the water, conservative water. So a lot of people are suffering. Like you see on the west coast here, and now on the Europe also, Rhine river has gone down there, and they are really looking for the rains, but they got too much rains. So they are really worried about that. But so many people in the world don't have water. Having that awareness and being conservative, not wasting it. Like for example, you are brushing, just wet the brush and then shut off the pipe pump. And then when you are rinsing the mouth, you can use water. In between, you don't let water run. Those kind of things people don't like to hear, but that kind of thing can be done on individual level. You take the air. Suppose you are a smoker, remember that you are polluting the air, and you can make a contribution by not smoking that much or not smoking at all. And also you are contributing to the consumerism by buying everything that you don't need, and those factories who are working like polluting all the old way, then you don't buy those products and then try to resist them, that kind of thing. So there are so many practical things I'm going to suggest in the book that people can apply to them. Only thing is need is awareness and conscious action. So think globally, act locally. So any questions or anybody else has anything else to contribute?
So, what do you think the answer is, Dr. Rao? How do we make things
Yeah.
better?
First of all, we have to understand that at what level this global climate problem is. How much human activity is contributing it. Then reverse engineering, like what is that I can do by myself, and also I can go and talk to other people, or I can participate in the political way to make a change. So whatever you can do, it can be done. But first of all, if you are not even aware of it, this behavior continues, and the destruction to the earth and the atmosphere is going on. You know, so people don't think about these things because they don't think it's affecting us. It is affecting us. It is affecting. So many people suffering with these heat waves and all that. It is not that just earth has got like that. It has got because of our human activity. Science is there for that. They presented that. But we still are apathetic about cutting the trees, apathetic about polluting the air, apathetic about wasting the water and all that, right? So if you don't understand the whole um, cycle of ecology, how the whole thing is making seawater rise, and that way we are really losing a lot of good water. But at the same time, uh, so very soon they were predicting California and Florida will be engulfed with more water. Even Miami City has it some days. The tide is very high, and they come all the way in. So we are seeing them right now. So there will be a lot of cities underwater. So they will be like a Venice, all water ridden. And people are adapting some ways to that kind of eventuality too. So be aware of it, know about it, read about it, investigate about it. Once you know about it, figure out the ways that you can do at your individual level, or at your family, at your society, at your state level, whatever you can do. Maybe you will become a leader of a country, then you can do that too. This is all about youngsters I'm talking about, but the other people can be an example to the youngsters. Fortunately, these millennials, I'm seeing they are much more aware than my generation was. So I was very happy to see that change in them. But I'm going to work for this. My personal life is a very minimalistic lifestyle, and then we have only one car we use. We don't use so many cars, and also we limit traveling unnecessarily. Walk as much possible, walkable distance. And there are certain communities they created throughout the United States where everything is walkable for you. So instead of using many cars, you can use public transport, or you can be in walkable distance. This one of the Dubuque, which is only 90 miles from me here. I have seen that those communities. They are like livable societies where all the important regular needs that you have, the grocery shop, the clothes shop, whatever, they are walkable distance. So you basically walk as much as you possible, or you cycle, something like that, instead of fossil fuels. Now, electrical cars have come. We're going to encourage them, and we're going to buy them. My next car is going to be electrical car. The current car I have is a hybrid. So still, regular decision like that can influence a lot. I think we had a good room, Tiffany. We were able to initiate this Saturday, and I will be doing next 9 Saturdays. The next topic will be wars. Why wars all the time? How much damage, how much grief, how much suffering it is creating? Why are we so apathetic? Why are we allowing people to spend so much of money on wars and war machines, but we don't have money for education, research, and health? So we're going to talk about that. It's a worldwide problem. At any given time, it seems there are 50 wars going on. you know those 50 watts are really something of a real big deal. you know so we are kind of working on that too. There is a perspective that is needed. There is a way we act locally that will influence, not to cause wars. And also this ancient wisdom of why they don't have non-violence all the time, why they don't have wars that much, is because they were accepting everybody with their differences, and but they are accepting one energy. That's why they were all like a one family. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, they said. That means only one world. All world is one family, right? We have those things understood well, then we will have more tolerance to people, more acceptance of the people, and less of divisions. So we won't conflict that much. That's the idea. Okay. So anybody else wants to come up and say anything? You're welcome to come.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Dr. Rao.
Sure, Tiffany. So with that, I will end this room here, and it's going to be only 1 hour. I don't want to too much time on this, and I'll see you back again next Saturday at the same hour. Thank you very much. I'll see you, Tiffany, Jamie, and Monk, and Aish. Thank you very much. Bye bye. Um, a lot of times, I try to just be aware and open and self-reflect, if you would. I want to. I do as best I can to sort of check myself, and so I really have to be checked, if that makes sense. And so it just made me think, and it held a mirror up to say, "Hey, look at yourself. Is this something that you have a tendency to do?" And in being fair, I I don't have that tendency, and so it stuck out to me that in such a short time frame, different people would have accused me of this. So it was, it just was something that I was thinking about in the night, as I was driving away from the place that I made it to just as everyone was leaving. But I don't I don't know if and scheduling. I don't know. But there's so many different ways. Have you explored other options, or you normally work like that on a when I freed myself, then I know the value of life. So please don't teach about wealth and building wealth. Yes, we need some decent living. There's no question about it. But that obsession of having a wealth of money, it is really not the right purpose. It is not. And when somebody wants to tell me that, hey, I want to be, a doctor because I want to be rich, and I would say, good luck.
do something else. Because Steve Jobs never wanted to be rich. Bill Gates never wanted to be rich. They just did what they loved, and the money followed them. But if you ever chase money, the money will run away from you. Trust me. Breathing exercises. Big anxiety number one. Okay, I'm gonna try not to be emotional, and I'll keep this within time because I really understand whether we have to close and okay, why am I here? I already answered this question. I wanted to be heard. I wanted to be understood. I didn't know I was going to get to this level. I shared a personal story. I was vulnerable about. I promise I'll keep this in 1 minute 30 seconds because I'm coming for the doctor now. I'm really coming out for the doctor in 1 minute 30 seconds, and but respectfully because the stage have given this opportunity. So, I shared a personal story how I had a road traffic accident. It was a moderate head injury. I'm in Nigeria. I shared this story. The doctor understands where I'm coming from now. And then, trying to find out where I am in life as compared to, I said, here on Clubhouse, I'm here to be heard, I'm here to be understood. And I shared that story. Hopefully, some people get it because I want to move on from this story to the doctor right now. So, I live in Nigeria. Our population is about 250 million. It's compared to 1.5 billion there in India. Because I can understand that we have a lot of people from India there. I mean, here in this room. But I wanted to put this into context now to the question, and not the question, please. I really don't require an answer. I just want to come for a piece of hot, and I wanted to just share this hot right now. So, in Nigeria, we got about 250 million people in it, and we have only about 20 neurosurgeons in Nigeria. And when I hit this woman, because when you Google on the internet the poverty capital in the world, you got India, then you got Nigeria. Of course, we know Indians are way more because we sent many serious medical issues over to India. But when you look at these things, and then when I'm listening, hearing a lot of this is not a tribal nationality thing. I hear a lot of Indians here talk about how they are here to help and change the world. They are here to help somebody. And I hit a woman, a stranger, no neurosurgeon anywhere I could go to, none. Somehow she survived it, right? Because that's all we have here, chances. And I'm here on Clubhouse, an app. I said this earlier. Really, I said I don't believe this even exists. I'm trying to be respectful here, and I'm speaking with a neurosurgeon, not just an ordinary one who's even. And guys, I'm trying not to be emotional, right? This is a retired neurosurgeon. This is my. I'll put this to a question, and I promised 1 minute 30 seconds. If I'm to believe everything we've all said, they were all strangers on the internet. Like I said, this is the first time I've come out to, a stage outside from my comfort zone. Are we really doing what, or is this all crap? Are we all lying to ourselves, right? We say here we're here to help other people, right? And then I just shared where I'm coming from and why I'm here. You know what? I'll end the question. I don't know. I'll end everything, my submission with this. Where do we go from here? And I'm confused. I'm emotional. And I know I'm not making sense. I just want to ask a question. To the doctor, especially, please. He's more experienced. He's a god here in Nigeria, right? That's a neurosurgeon. We have only 20 of them. He's a god in Nigeria. Doc, please, where do we go from here? With respect to why we're here in this world. Please help me.
Thank you, Vic. Thank you for your comment, because you kind of did a fork. Instead of asking why you were here, you're saying where do we go from here, which is not a bad way to place a question. But thank you for being here. Nitsa, back to you.
Thank you, Shashank. With that, we've come to the close. But of course, Shashank, you kind of added some thoughts you haven't really necessarily spoken on. This question of having a purpose, and I know you said that it's not easy to find it. That's something that you have conveyed. Is there anything else you wanted to add to this? If I can ask you, do you think you have found a purpose, and do you think it's necessary to find one?
Everybody should have a purpose in whatever they do. But my purpose has always evolved. It's in bite sizes, different phases, different life, different purpose. When you are young, getting through your high school was a purpose for a lot of people. Some people find other purpose, like Olympians. They find that they want to play a particular sport and become an Olympic athlete.